Okay, for this specific question, we need to understand a 45, 45, 90-degree right triangle to get this question correct and solve it as quick as we can. So an isosceles right triangle has an hypotenuse of 58 inches. What's the perimeter in inches of this triangle? So we're given an isosceles right triangle with a hypotenuse of 45 inches, and we are trying to look for the perimeter in inches for this triangle. So because it's an isosceles right triangle, I'm able to say that I have a right triangle with both angles besides the 90 degree that equal 45 because they have to equal each other in order to be an isosceles right triangle. So this is on your SAT reference sheet. You don't need to memorize it, but it's important to know how to use it because in this specific question, they use something a little bit weird to figure out the answer for the perimeter when the hypotenuse equals 58. So in the SAT reference sheet, the hypotenuse equals x to the square root of 2, and then x on the other two legs because they equal each other. So I'm going to do green for the other triangle for this specific question. Again, remember that it's an isosceles right triangle, so these angle measures equal 45. So we're given that the isosceles right triangle in the question has a hypotenuse of 58 inches, and we are trying to look for the perimeter in inches of this specific triangle that's in green. So how can I look for it? If we look at our hypotenuse, it looks a little bit weird. And that's because we only have 58. And as we can see, we don't have a square root of 2. So what does that basically mean? That basically means that the other two legs are going to be x divided by the square root of 2 and x, oops, I drew that too high, and then x divided by the square root of 2. What is my x value? Well, if we look at our red triangle, if I divide, so let me get an eraser, make it smaller. If I divide everything by the square root of 2, I'm going to have x by itself in the hypotenuse, and then x divided by the square root of 2, and then x divided by the square root of 2. Therefore, my x value is going to be 58. So I'm able to draw the green right triangle, delete the x's, and then just plug in 58 for my hypotenuse, or sorry, for my legs. But we don't like fractions, so we got to simplify it. So to simplify 50 with the square root of 2, we just multiply square root of 2 on both sides, and that's going to equal 29 the square root of 2 on both sides. So to look for my perimeter, all I have to do is do 29 and multiply by square root of 2 because this is one leg for one of the right triangles, and then plus 50 for the hypotenuse, and that's going to equal 58 with the square root of 2 plus 58, and that's going to be my perimeter for this right triangle, and my answer is going to be C.